Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys have got my message out there on social media. I put out an announcement Monday, and I am recording this. Actually, we are back at Bullis Mortuary, and I am here at night. Actually, I'm here about 10 o'clock at night now by myself, and I have some things set up around the room, and I hope you guys enjoy this episode. So if you guys are listening out there, whether you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you may be, make sure you click on the video version of this on Spotify, go to YouTube, go to Facebook, and make sure you watch. And also make sure you listen as well. I love seeing all the views out there. You guys are downloading the podcast thousands of times a month still, even though I haven't been active. And I'm so proud of this. I'm so proud of what we're building here. And I hope you guys stay along for the journey. So I did have a full suit on, but it got too hot in here, and I don't want to turn on the AC because of the noise issues and whatnot. But I do have 3 cameras set up around the room. And I'm grateful for Steve Kierkegaard of Bullis Mortuary. Many of you guys know him from the podcast, and it was a really cool time to sit down with him in the podcast. And that was about a little over 6 months ago, I believe. And we were sitting right here. Steve sat in this chair. I was here. Mark was there. And we had a time in this room. And I am back here recording this podcast alone. And I had a strange feeling coming into this. I mean, I was like, am I going to catch anything? Or, I saw Christy, who works at the Bullis Mortuary. And she's like, I hope you catch something. And I was like, I know. I was like, well, I hope not. But well, I'm here, but I'll be back here and there. So thankful for Steve Kierkegaard of giving me the mortuary for a night and allowing Fallen Hour to come in and really take the space and create this podcast and create a forum. It's somewhere where I can come and be alone and just shoot this podcast. I'm really grateful for that. So thanks to Steve, thanks to Bullis Mortuary. And if you guys aren't aware, I do have a memorial business that works alongside with Bullis Mortuary and other funeral homes in the future. I do memorial services. So we'll have a slideshow, we can do live streams, videography, burial videography, and all that sorts of stuff, farewell messages. I do service announcements for someone's passing. And after working with Bullis Mortuary for about 6 months or so, and within the 4 or 5 month period, I think I started Fallen Hour Memorials, and I felt like that was a really good place to step into. I mean, helping families, and I always seem to find myself within funeral arrangements, or I've lost a lot of people in the past couple of years, whether that be my father, my dad, Champ, that many of you guys know him out there on the podcast. He has passed away last October. And I haven't mentioned it to you guys on the page or on the podcast specifically, but he was a big part of my life and a big part of the community. And many people knew him as being this energetic person. And he had some big shoes to fill. And I hope that all of us are filling his shoes correctly and we're doing him proud. And just keep moving forward. He was the biggest supporter of this podcast, by the way. When it was in its infancy, he would give us ideas for a podcast, or when we created art pieces, we'd create art pieces that he had asked for, and just a really good support system that I have. My mom, my dad, they really supported us in the beginning. They still do. Well, my mom still does, and my wife has taken time off of. Well, she's not working anymore. I was able to really kickstart my business marketing, and I have many clients, and so we're doing good. So for you guys wondering about where I've been or what's happening to Fallen Hour, I get messages here and there. When you guys coming back for another episode, and here we are right now. And tonight's episode, I'm going to be jumping into dreams, and this episode, I really want to just lay a groundwork of what dreams are, of what they can be, and how you yourself can take those dreams to heart. And we'll get more into that in just a little bit. But I'm going to mention that I have a few things set up around the room. I got a camera up there. I got a camera here and a camera here, just like I mentioned, 2 lights behind me. I do have my recording equipment here, but I also brought something special for this podcast. I brought my hunting equipment for paranormal, and I hope that we're able to catch something. It'll be really exciting. I'll be able to show you guys what's going on. I am here alone, and I do not want to provoke anything. I do not want to have anything follow me home. I will pray after this podcast, and I do not want to put any misfortune within these walls, but I will just set these there, and whatever happens, happens. I'm not going to speak to them. I'm not going to engage in this podcast, but I'm going to be talking about dreams, and I do have a mic set far behind the camera, behind you guys. I have a microphone set up also to where Steve and I were seeing a figure standing in the corner over there, and it was strange to see because Steve is a really respectful guy, really put together, very kind guy, and I never thought he would be open to that world. I never thought he was open to that world of whether that's paranormal or just sensitive and any of that. And it was interesting to see his reaction as well as mine watching back on it, of us reacting to something we saw in the corner, and that's another place I have a microphone. So that being said, I have a microphone set up over there. I also have an EMF reader, and this will allow me to see if there's any electroactivity in the room while I speak. If anything reacts with that, I will point it out. I also have what is called an NEM master. This is an electromagnetic reader. Looks like my battery's out. I got to change it really quick. But I'm going to set these up around the room, and I will come back to you guys. And I hope I do have batteries in there. So if anything passes in front of this one, this is called a shadow master. If anything passes in front of this device, it'll make that sound. And I'm going to set it over there, make sure it's set up for the lighting over there. And if anything passes in front of it, we'll catch it. So I'm going to put a battery in here for static electricity. And I'm going to set this Shadow Master up over there, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I'm back. I actually haven't heard these vents kick on, but here we are. That scared the hell out of me. But so let's get back into this podcast. What I'm going to do tonight is going to be laying groundwork, and I do want to mention some of the sponsors on this podcast. Bolus Mortuary, of course, is number one for lending us a space. Stones and Bones, Billings, Montana. If you guys are into the metaphysical, into crystals, healing stones, Wiccan traditions, fossils, art pieces, jewelry, this is a perfect place for you. This is located at 701 24th Street West, Billings, Montana. They're open from Tuesday to Saturday, from 12 to 6 p.m. And they are currently taking a break, but they'll be back very, very soon, and I hope to see some of you listeners there. It's a really great spot to be. So I also have the Art Garage in Billings, Montana, located in Lockwood on Sea Rise Road, or Drive. And this is a place, so if you guys love tattoos, if you guys are into classic cars, if you're into fine art pieces, if you guys love wood and woodworking and high-end tables, this is the perfect space and the perfect place to become a client at. Schedule an appointment. I'll put all their info in the video. And this is just a really, really great place. The place is owned by Chris Hamilton. Stones and Bones is owned by Crystal Hamilton, and I've known them many, many years, and they have very much supported me and my family throughout the years, and they've helped out a lot in my life, and I really am grateful to have them in my life, and they're really great friends, and I really don't have close friends. I have a few, but I see them the most, and they're really, really great people, and I'm just fortunate. So, and also we have Outlaws Cafe and Casino located right here on Center Street in Hardin, Montana. Tuesday through Sunday they are open. Movies are running. The movies are back up and running, actually. I was able to help Chrissy, who runs the theater, fix their projector because they had projector issues and they were closed for a bit. We were able to get in there to help them figure that out. So so make sure you guys visit those places, and I hope to see you guys there. I'm always in and around those shops. So that being said, I am going to start off with laying some groundwork about dreams and what do dreams mean. And this is really, really important because a lot of us believe that dreams have significance, or they have some sort of meaning behind them, and a lot of them do. And I've spoken to prophets about this also, and they believe. I spoke to one prophet in particularly, and he was one of the ones that would allow me to come in and record an exorcism that our followers would classify as an exorcism. And we're still going to be opening that up in the future. But I asked him, because I have some strange dreams. I really don't dream often. And I know scientifically you do dream every night, but you don't remember them. But I really don't believe I dream often. But lately I have been dreaming a lot. And some of them are shocking. And my wife has been dreaming a lot. She always wakes up with the craziest dreams, and I always try to pick out details of it and look up and see what it means. And but it's just a really strange and interesting thing to get into. So what I'm going to answer in this podcast is laying the groundwork. What are dreams? How can we use dreams to our advantage? And how also is God talking to us through our dreams? If you guys don't know and don't realize, I am a Christian. I do believe in God. I pray often with my wife and kids often. I do study biblically, and that helps me also in the podcast because knowing these things, I also dive into other cultures and try to find a solution to whether that's happenings I've been a part of and in the room of what you would classify as exorcisms. I've been around hauntings. I've been around somebody who has been possessed and was very close to another one who was possessed, and we got them some help. A really strange thing to get into. I don't know if they want me to release their stories in the future, but we'll see. We'll talk about those. But that being said, this prophet had told me not every dream has significance to it. Sometimes it is a dream, and it's just part of the human experience. But God does speak to you through dreams. And that's kind of what I want to get into tonight. And I hope that camera's running because that camera always screws up on me. This one kind of, I don't know. But I do have a camera up there rolling for sure. But I did take some notes today just to lay some groundwork. I have a lot to cover here tonight. And I'm going to read to you some of the notes I've taken down about dreams, and this is going to be laying the groundwork. As we go forward, I won't be reading. I will be talking to you guys. Maybe I'll be reading here and there, but I'll be talking to you guys just like as myself, because I do know about dreaming. I have learned about dreaming, studying demonology, studying the Bible. I've grown up studying biblically and got into demonology there, and still study the Bible and for my own good. And I got to get back to reading the Bible and studying. But that being said, so there is biblical references to dreams. And a lot of us think that God, especially in this field that I'm in, every haunting is a loved one or they came back to check on you sort of thing. And in my belief system, I believe, because it's something that you should believe, because you don't want your loved one that's passed on to just stick around and be stuck and you can't see them. The Bible says that they're either go to hell within a split second or they're at God's side within a split second. And if they lived the life of purity and they were right with God, spoke to him daily. And so in my belief system and in my field, I do believe that hauntings do have a demonic interplay within them. So if you guys experience that, make sure that you question, is this demonic? Biblical references talk about questioning the spirits, questioning whether that's an angel that comes to you, also to see if they are of God, and to make sure that you are speaking to a being that is of God and is of light, and not something that is dark. And especially getting into this field, there's a Bible passage that I've referenced very, very, very much in this podcast, and it talks about how it was an abomination to reach out to the dead. And it's just a strange place to mention that, because I'm sitting inside of a mortuary that deals a lot with death and helps families through the grieving process. And I'm so grateful for this place, because stepping into this, we had to deal with that a lot over the past couple of years, and I'm just happy to be here sitting right here. And this is actually where your loved ones would sit or lay behind me, and behind you guys is the gallery, but there is references to reaching out to them. And so when it comes to dreaming, there is biblical references, and Joseph had dreams. This is early on within Scripture, and I know that many of you know about Joseph and that is his story. So in the book of Genesis, Joseph has two significant dreams that predict his rise to power in Egypt. Genesis 37, 5 through 11. These dreams play a crucial role in the biblical narrative. So God speaks to us in dreams. God, and I believe also there is a demonic element to this side of dreaming, because we step into dreams. I believe we step into another realm. I believe we go into our spiritual being here and there. And sometimes that is apparent. Sometimes that feeling sticks with you throughout the day, whether you have like this ugly feeling, or you're fearful, or maybe you had a really good dream, and maybe you dreamt about something that's going to happen in your life, and you act on it, and you just wake up with this feeling. And sometimes these dreams do have a significance. Sometimes God does give you dreams. He speaks through dreams. He speaks through visions. He speaks to you throughout the day. And it's up to you to listen to his voice. And it's also up to you to listen to other voices, and other voices that are speaking to you, because there is other things that try to interfere between you and your life. There is this other part of us that is spiritual, and it does land a battlefield. There is a battlefield happening right now as I'm speaking here. Not everything that happens in life is of the devil. Not everything is satanic, because we do live in a fallen world, and we can't attribute everything to being the devil's attacking me. Satan's attacking me. He's giving me these dreams, or car accidents and things like that, because we do live in a fallen world. This goes way back into Genesis with Adam and Eve, and we live in a fallen world. So now we have sickness, we have problems, there's car wrecks, there's death, all sorts of things. But if you live a life with faith, you know that things are taken care of. Somebody paid the price for those, and Jesus paid his price for those. And if you step into that realm, you should have a sense of security, and that happens to be within my faith, and I have a sense of security. And I realize that there are some things that happen in my life that aren't lining up with my belief system. So I do pray, I do anoint my children, anoint my house. I do pray often. I do call ministers, prophets, and speak with them and have them pray with me. I have my mom pray with me. I read my Bible in those times, and it has helped. And I know that God is always on time. And right now things are going great, and I'm so thankful for that. And I hope that many of you guys out there listening and watching this podcast are experiencing greatness and experiencing peace within your life. And whether you're jumping into business, that you're flourishing. So That being said, I believe I'm going on 21 minutes, so I'll have to reset that camera very, very soon. It's apparent that God speaks to you through dreams. I am going to get into also Elijah, because God made him lay down when he was in the wilderness and God spoke to him. So this is going to be a two-part, maybe three-part series on dreams. I'm going to be starting with the biblical versions. I'm going into other cultures as well and see what they believe dreams are. Many of you out there are into metaphysical. Many of my followers are into metaphysical. And I would like your input on what dreams mean and how they can lend. And what do you believe? I mean, what is your belief system with dreams? Does every dream have significance? Does every dream give you guidance? And I want to hear from you guys. So make sure you guys inbox the page or go to my website. So the book of Daniel also contains several prophetic dreams and visions, such as Nebuchadnezzar, dreams of a great statue. And Second Daniel's own visions of the future. Daniel 7:12, Jacob's ladder. And in Genesis 28:10 through 12, Jacob dreams of a ladder reaching to heaven, with angels ascending and descending on it. This dream is often interpreted as a divine revelation. And I'm going to lay this groundwork, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to dive deeper into those scriptures and pull out some things of those, and hopefully I follow along the storyline. But I do have a lot of notes here that I was going to get into researching, but I'm going to be laying the groundwork. So if you guys catch these scriptures, make sure you guys go out there, read them for yourselves, study for yourselves, and see what it means to you, and pray through your reading, meditate on these scriptures and these things. So lucid dreaming, and this is something that has been a theme in the podcast. We've talked about lucid dreaming. We've talked about astral projection and dream surfing and things like that. Lucid dreaming, this is a phenomenon where the dreamer is where they are dreaming and can sometimes control the dream. Many cultures believe that lucid dreaming allows for spiritual journey and communication with other realms, meaning the spiritual realm. And you got to be careful within those dreams, because you can step into the demonic realm and you can commune with demons, and it's just a really, really scary thing to get into. If you guys try that, you can open up doors that you can't close yourself. And I just give you warning to, if you guys attempt to lucid dream, to have this warning and take it to heart. And so dream catchers, and I have a belief system of my own what dream catchers are, and I don't have dream catchers in my house, but dream catchers originated from Native American traditions. Dream catchers are believed to protect dreamers from bad dreams while letting good dreams pass through. And people have some success with these things. And but I'll give you guys my thoughts on those in the future. But yeah, so if you guys have had some experience with dream catchers, if you guys have dream catchers in your house, make sure you inbox the page or comment on this video a photo of your dream catchers, because they are beautiful and I want to see yours. My mom actually has some that I made her when I was a kid, and it's really cool to go back and look at those things sitting in her room and just reminiscing about building that, because they took forever. But prophetic dreams, and this is something God speaks to you through your dreams in the prophetic. And also demons can be somewhat prophetic. They can predict the future, they can tell you about your past, and they can also influence the future, as well as God himself. So throughout history, many cultures believe that dreams can predict the future or provide divine guidance. Ancient Greek, Romans, and Egyptians all had systems and interpreting dreams. So the Pharaoh would sit in his throne, and many times he would call upon prophets, and he would have them come to his court and tell him what they see. Because if he's having famine within his kingdom, he would call upon prophets, he would call upon magicians. And there was one story in particular where these magicians and these readers would come and they just weren't predicting things correctly. So the Pharaoh called upon a prophet, and he came and actually cursed Egypt and put them into a dry spell. And I'll get more into that in the future. So we got into the scientific side of dreaming and got into REM sleep and all that stuff. We got into sleep paralysis and the stage of sleep where most vivid dreaming occurs. Researchers believe that REM sleep plays a role in processing emotions and memories. Freudian's theory, and many of you guys who know who Freud is, suggests that dreams are a window into the unconscious mind, revealing hidden desires and thoughts. And that is one of the key points that I'm going to drive home in this podcast is Freud's belief on dreams, because Freud did believe that, and this is disputed, especially in the scientific world of dreaming. Scientists believe that dreams don't mean anything at all, and that they're just the part of the human experience, and that they're just laid dull. What is the word I'm looking for? They're benign, that they have no play within your life, and they have nothing to lend you, and that they're just dreams. And it's such a boring way to think, to be so closed-minded. I do not oppose scientific beliefs, and I believe that whether that's religion and science, that they do help and aid each other. And I do want to get into a podcast in the future that shows biblical sites and shows that a lot of these happenings in the Bible did actually happen, and there's remains of these happenings. Throughout history, many cultures believe that dreams can predict the future or provide divine guidance. Ancient Greek, Romans, and Egyptians all had systems and interpreting dreams. So the Pharaoh would sit in his throne, and many times he would call upon prophets, and he would have them come to his court and tell him what they see. Because if he's having famine within his kingdom, he would call upon prophets, he would call upon magicians. And there was one story in particular where these magicians and these readers would come and they just weren't predicting things correctly. So the Pharaoh called upon a prophet, and he came and actually cursed Egypt and put them into a dry spell. And I'll get more into that in the future. So we got into the scientific side of dreaming and got into REM sleep and all that stuff. We got into sleep paralysis and the stage of sleep where most vivid dreaming occurs. Researchers believe that REM sleep plays a role in processing emotions and memories. Freudian's theory, and many of you guys who know who Freud is, suggests that dreams are a window into the unconscious mind, revealing hidden desires and thoughts. I do want to reference Elijah, and Elijah happens to be my favorite prophet so far. And I do have another set of notes here. Next time I'm going to write these down because it's hard to keep track of my notes. But Joseph, back to Joseph. Dreams, this is basically dreams and the impact. Joseph's dreams foretold that he would rise to a position of great power, which initially caused jealousy amongst his brothers. They sold him into slavery, but his ability to interpret dreams eventually led him to become the second most powerful man in Egypt. He interpreted Pharaoh's dreams about 7 years of plenty, followed by 7 years of famine, which allowed Egypt to prepare and to save countless lives. Genesis 41. And this is just the start. I mean, people have been having dreams for thousands of years, and they have been interpreted for thousands of years. And this isn't new. This is an ancient practice, is to interpret your dreams. And many people do it in a way that allows bad things to happen, that allows demons into their life. And if you guys are experiencing, whether you're having money issues, you're having health issues, people connected to you are having health issues, they're losing their homes, or there's a lot of fighting going on, or those things could deal with the demonic and could deal with the other realms. And there's always this tension, always this fighting going on, always this. And it's important to us to know how to use angels, because biblical references talk about angels are bound by our faithlessness and bound by our lack of knowledge. And so if we don't know how to use our angels because they are there for service, there's just no, I guess there's just going to be nothing going correctly. You do have angels if you are saved, and the Bible talks about that you have a legion of angels, which is about 12,000. One angel in the Bible defeated 25,000 men in a battle. So all you need is one angel, but these angels can't move unless they are beckoned or they are compelled through God's word, through prayer, through scripture. So make sure you guys learn how to pray. So life changes. Joseph's journey from being a slave to becoming a ruler of Egypt shows how his dreams and interpretations were instrumental in his rise to power. His story demonstrates the beliefs of that God communicates important messages through dreams. Daniel, which I don't think I spoke about yet, Daniel's dreams and impact. Daniel was known for his ability to interpret dreams and visions, which earned him a high position in the Babylonian court. He interpreted King Nebuchadnezzar's dream of a great statue. Sorry, I lost my space. Which predicted the rise and fall of empires. Dreams have power. Dreams, when God speaks to you, whether you have visions, dreams, or whether you just dream in general, these dreams do have power. And if you guys pull those into reality, you can do some great things. You can step into great things. You can make great moves. And he also had his own visions about future kingdoms and the end times. Daniel 7:12, life changes. Daniel's interpretations not only saved his life, but also elevated him to a position of influence. His story highlights how God uses dreams to reveal divine plans and future events. Jacob dreams and impact. Jacob's dreams of a ladder reaching to heaven with angels ascending and descending occurred while he was fleeing from his brothers. God spoke to him in the dream, promising him the land of Canaan and numerous descendants. His life changed. The dreams marked a turning point in Jacob's life, affirming God's covenant with him and giving him the assurance to continue his journey. It also symbolized the connection between heaven and earth. Elijah, this is where I wanted to get to, and this is God puts Elijah basically in a lying state where he's lying down and speaks to him and gives him, I'll just read it for you guys, and you guys can interpret it. But in 1 Kings 19:4-8, Elijah fleeing from Queen Jezebel lay down under a broom tree, exhausted and despondent. An angel touched him and told him to eat and drink. After resting and eating, he was strengthened and traveled for 40 days and nights to Mount Horeb, where he encountered God. Life changes. This event showed how God provided for Elijah in his time of need and communicated with him through physical substance and rest, emphasizing that divine communication can come in various forms, including dreams and visions. God speaking through dreams. Biblical examples, the stories of Joseph, Daniel, Jacob, Elijah illustrate how God uses dreams and visions to guide, warn, and reveal his plans to people. These narratives emphasize the beliefs that dreams are a significant way God communicates with his followers. And I hope that gives you guys some clarity on some of my beliefs in dreams. A lot of this comes from biblical standpoints, and that is where I turn to. I always turn to biblical. You guys really don't know that a lot of the things that happen within my life, and I study with, I've dealt with certain things in my life, and I did have a lot of dreams at that point. Also dealing with a lot of strange things happening around, whether that's family, death, and things that are happening within my businesses. And it's just, you have to listen. You have to be quiet your mind. Don't put your own input within within things. There's always something bigger going on, and there's always something bigger happening. Wherever you step, there is something happening. Every room, every building you walk into, every person that you interact with, there is something happening within a spiritual, and there is always something moving forward within your life, whether you like it or not. And dreams are they, as just like I read to you, they have a pivotal role with they can play a pivotal role in your life. And whether you interpret those through good nature, whether you interpret those through another form of reading those dreams, whether you're searching for the dead, or you're communing with the dead, or you're communing with the demonic, you're having a nightmare, or fear is a funny thing. I mean, there were men in the Bible who did fear the sight of angels, and they had fear. And so fear in it of itself has some strange qualities and strange attributes that in the presence of a heavenly being, you could have fear. And that's what happened in the Bible. I'll talk about that in the future. But so a lot of covering on this within the biblical standpoint, and that I'm going to dive deeply into the biblical, dive deeply into other texts and other beliefs. I'm going to get some input on whether you guys are sending in your dreams and your interpretations of dreams. And let's start the conversation. Let's dive into this conversation of the paranormal, of whether that's the biblical, or if you guys are Wiccans or palm readers or mediums out there who practice in this. Make sure you inbox me and let's start this conversation. I would love to have you guys in the show. And I am not one of those Christians who will discredit you or push you aside. I will sit there and have a conversation with you and get your viewpoints on it. And it's important for our listeners to hear both sides. And although I know my belief, and I hope that many of you have a belief system out there and have a faith with God and talk to God regularly, and that's going to be the field going forward. And things are going to change, especially with this podcast. We're going to be stepping into a lot of different weird things, and I apologize for also not mentioning the things that I have in my face. I do look a lot different. I have changed. This is basically how I've dressed all my life, but I've started to step into this part of my life to where I just really don't care what people think about me. I don't care what these, I always present myself as myself, and some people don't like that. And a lot of you out there who may be a little different, just like I am, and my wife, who may dress a certain way, who have tattoos, or you dye your hair, you have piercings, you speak a certain way, you're a weirdo like me, you like crazy music like me, I like a whole lot of different music, you're into the macabre, or you're into just strange things in general like myself, you have a place right here at Fallen Hour. You have a home right here at Fallen Hour. I'm not a person of judgment. I am a person who embraces the weird, the odd, the strange, the dark, the macabre, the light, God, and have a lot of knowledge on demons and things of that nature. So yeah, it's just you guys have a home right here at Fallen Hour, and I hope that you guys follow along, and I hope you guys really follow along this journey that I'm going to take you on in the months and years to come. And I'm going to be launching a new Snapchat right now. It's on the screen right now, and I hope you guys join me. I do upload daily to my personal Snapchat, so I'm going to be uploading to you guys and interfacing and answering messages and just opening up a line to you guys. If you guys are struggling with depression, if you're struggling with life in general, make sure you reach out, and I'll talk to you guys. I'll talk with you guys. I myself have OCD, anxiety, diagnosed with that and dealing with that and trying to get myself on the right path. And I hope that me mentioning those things and I'll talk more on those things in the future. I mean, this is a space that I believe needs to become a community. I believe that you guys out there, all you listeners out there, we can form a community and form a friendship and a lot of cool things on the way. I'm so excited to be back to the podcast, and I am so excited. Also, Linkin Park is back. That's what I wanted to mention also, is Linkin Park's back. I love Linkin Park my whole life, and I'm so glad they picked the singer. She has the Linkin Park sound, and it's just really cool. So, yeah. So if you guys don't know Linkin Park, I'm sure many of you guys out there know Linkin Park, or either love them or hate them, or hate the new singer, all the controversy surrounding her. It's just insane. She's a perfect fit for me. I'm happy that she has somewhat of the tonality that Chester had. He himself suffered with a lot of things, mental illnesses and depression and things, and anxiety, and his music has really helped me out a lot, as well as these other bands that I'm going to mention in the future. I'm going to bring you guys into my world, basically. I want to become more open with my followers, my listeners, and just be myself on this podcast and with my guests, and let them be themselves also. So to end this podcast, I am doing great, fantastic. I'm at peace with my life. I'm at peace with my business. I've been really tired lately. I've been on the go a whole lot. Been working on that, drinking a whole lot of Red Bull, Monsters, staying healthy. I don't do anything crazy. All I do is drink coffee and drink Monsters and whatnot. And so I'm living life hopefully to its fullest. I am staying busy, and I'm going to get back to you guys and make sure I take you guys along the journey. And that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast of me laying the groundwork, even though I was reading off a sheet. I want to take this moment to just really recognize you guys out there as listeners and followers. And I am super tired right now, so I'm going to close up. I got to pack all this stuff outside into my car and go and edit this for you guys. So hope you guys stick along with me. Follow the Snapchat, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Facebook, YouTube. Check out my website, fallenhour.com, fhmemorials.com. Shout out to artgarage406.com, at Stones and Bones on Facebook, at Outlaws Harden, Outlaws Cafe Casino on Facebook. Shout out to at Bullis Mortuary LLC on Facebook, Bullis Mortuary LLC. Bullis Mortuary as a cell phone on Facebook, FH Memorials, Praying Women Boutique on Facebook and on TikTok. Make sure you guys follow her. She's a really cool person. I'll be helping out her very soon. So you guys, let's get into it. Let's keep this rolling. We are getting into the Halloween season, my favorite season of them all. Love the fall, love the leaves on the ground, the cold air, the clouds, the spookiness of it all, and just being able to dress in black, which I do year round anyways. But I hope that you guys have a great evening, and I hope that you guys follow along this podcast, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. My name is Sid Elinik, and you are listening to Fallen Hour Radio.